I've been reading Transforming Your Health Span: Pathways to Wellness, Embracing Holistic Health Principles, Book 9. It's focused on a broader, more holistic perspective, less on singular nutrients, more on the interplay of minerals, lifestyle factors, and gut health.
So, rather than spotlighting just one supplement at a time, it zooms out to show how minerals like calcium, phosphorus, copper, and so on all work together.
Exactly. There's a big chapter on balancing minerals, discussing how an imbalance can trigger a cascade of health issues, like calcium and phosphorus. They talk about how phosphorus is abundant in modern diets, and if you don't counterbalance it with enough calcium, your body might rob your bones to keep everything stable.
I see. So it's basically watch that calcium to phosphorus ratio, or you risk bone density problems.
Yes, that's the gist. And for a lot of people, processed foods and certain proteins lead to way too much phosphorus. Then your parathyroid hormone shoots up, causing bone demineralization.
And it also covers sodium intake.
It does. Book 9 actually challenges the always cut sodium approach. They cite new research, like the Sodium HF trial, which found that going low sodium in heart failure patients didn't drastically change outcomes. The key is balancing sodium with potassium and factoring in how much you sweat or how much coffee you drink. Too little sodium can lead to problems too.
What about copper and iron? Weren't they already touched on in earlier books?
They expand on it here, like how copper deficiency can masquerade as iron deficiency, but in reality, the body can't utilize iron properly if copper is low.
That's interesting. Most of us get hammered with low iron, but rarely do we hear check your copper.
Yes, exactly. They name-check Morley Robbins, who says a lot of so-called iron deficiency is actually an issue of copper. The book explains how copper bisglycinate is well absorbed, plus it's integral for enzymes that manage oxidative stress. They also feature quick summaries of manganese bisglycinate, potassium glycinate, and boron boroganic glycine.
So those are advanced forms of these minerals?
Right? The idea is that glycinate or bisglycinate forms are more bioavailable and gentler on digestion. Each mineral is important for different enzymes and processes, like manganese for bone and cartilage, potassium for heart rhythm and nerve impulses, and boron for hormone regulation.
And then there's a section on B12, methylcobalamin, and folate.
Yes, they circle back to B12 and folate, highlighting how crucial they are for DNA synthesis, brain health, and energy. They mention how deficiency can lead to fatigue, neurological issues, or high homocysteine. It's basically a reminder that the vitamins are integral to maintaining that holistic balance.
Then the second chapter is about probiotics and gut health.
Yup, they pick two big examples, Lactobacillus reuteri and home-fermented sauerkraut. Both are heavy hitters for improving gut flora, which in turn influences everything from immunity to mental well-being. The book emphasizes how fermented veggies can supply beneficial microbes and how reuteri can produce compounds that reduce gut inflammation and possibly help with hormone balance.
So book 9 is less about single supplement highlights, like NAC or L-carnitine, and more about synergy among minerals, balancing them, plus adding probiotic foods.
Right. It's definitely holistic, living up to its title. Minerals aren't in isolation. Your sodium and potassium, copper and iron, calcium and phosphorus all need to be balanced.
I like that approach. A lot of times people just chase one deficiency.
Exactly. It's a puzzle. The takeaway is, test your levels, watch your ratios, get enough real food, minerals, and mind your gut with quality probiotics or fermented foods.
I think that's valuable. So, final verdict?
If you want a wide-angle look at how minerals, gut microbiota, and basic dietary habits interact, Book 9 is a gem. They give practical strategies, like how to track the Ca/P ratio, how to spot signs of copper deficiency versus iron overload, and how to incorporate fermented veggies. Definitely a good resource for those wanting a bigger, integrative perspective.